Good morning, everyone, and welcome to High Trust Coaching Live. I'm Hope Borman, and I'm the Divisional President for High Trust Coaching. I have with me one of our amazing High Trust coaches, Cindy Tomack. So good morning, Cindy.
Good morning, Hope.
It's always so great to see you and spend some time with you this morning.
You too.
I just wanted to kind of let everybody know that we bring High Trust Coaching live every Wednesday morning at this time. And our goal is to bring insight, impact, and strategies to help you generate more business in less time with less stress. So we'd love to have you tuning in live with us so you can ask questions and or tuning in live when you have some time to sit down and listen and maybe take a few notes, because you get a lot of treasures here. So let's get started. Cindy, as we kick off the new year, the topic of conversation with a lot of our coaching conversations right now is the 2021 forecast.
Yeah.
So MBA is forecasting, Q1 and Q2 for rates to remain fairly stable, which means there's still going to be a tremendous opportunity for refinance. Q3, Q4, we're looking at a drop off, and it may even be some level of a dramatic drop. And what we know in our industry is that the refinance market doesn't wane. It doesn't, it doesn't like drip off. It just stops.
Yeah.
It just stops. And when it stops, that's not necessarily the time to redirect, right? To redirect. So Cindy, let's get into it. Can you talk to us what's top of mind strategy right now for our originators and our coaching members, and how we're helping them to make sure that they win this year?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, that yes, Q1, Q2 is going to be a great couple, and then perhaps refis will drop off. I think anybody that's been in this industry a long time, you've heard that year after year. It's those that have been in those times where it actually did go up even 1/4 to 0.5%, and you do see that absolute stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one of the things that, well, not just one of the things, but truly helping our clients right now, I talk to my clients about a 90-day window. We have a 90-day window where you will not have this 90-day window again for the rest of the year, because in 90 days is April 1st. And yes, markets open up different times, but April 1st, you got to be ready to go.
Right.
And so as I'm working with my clients, last year was huge, big abundance of business. And what tends to happen is that they, the processes, the systems, the how-tos don't get worked on or looked at during those high times. So what I'm really sharing with my clients at this time is 90 days. And Todd, on our last Coaches Corner, our last conversation with all the coaches, he shared with us that, and I've really seen this throughout the High Trust, but he really shared with really looking and prioritizing what is it that you need to do.
Right.
And one thing that this is the piece, this process, systems, and communication flow. To me, your customer experience, it's not just me, it's what Todd believes too in the High Trust method, is that it is the platform that absolutely delivers what you go out and you promise people. And what tends to happen is we're always out there going out and promising, but yet we fail to look at what's going on with our platform.
Yeah.
And I think 2020 shined a light on a lot of gaps.
Yeah, it did. It certainly did. And I want to say a couple of things. One, I want to say that our coaching members, we had a tsunami hit us last year. And our coaching members, and I know that, many people in the mortgage industry stepped up. They did a tremendous job and taking care of these customers, because that is part of our promise that we make to our clients, is to make sure that they are in the best position possible. And so I want to say, that they did a tremendous job and doing that and embracing that as much as they possibly physically could. And at the same time, we were reactive. Right, Sin? We were reactive, and that's all we could be at the moment, was just be reactive, right?
Right.
But now, we're in a place of, like you say, our 90-day window. of making sure that we are going to mirror what we accomplished last year.
Yes.
It may be in a different way, but we're going to, make sure that we are staying successful. So what are some of the things, Cindy, that you've been talking to or your coaching members about, as far as to what are the plans? What are the plans that we're putting in place?
Well, first of all, we've really taken a step back and looked at our numbers from 2020, right? We at High Trust Coaching, we track on a daily basis, we track 6 core metrics.
Yes, we
And
do.
we really did a reflection back as they were building their 2021 plan. I also really shined a light on, great, what was your conversion rate? We built your plan last year at 45, you came in at 30. Let's look at that, right? What's your pull through? Which, wow, I mean, there's a lot of volume pulled through, right? And so we really looked at the numbers to look at where are opportunities for us to shine a light to better how we as loan officers deliver what we're doing on the front line.
Yes.
And so just that reflection, we certainly set business goals. And what we do here at High Trust, you don't just measure your metrics. We also take those goals and how many conversations need to be having, how many apps, and we put it in these metrics so that every time we're coaching, we're looking at this, we're helping them know their numbers. And that's a big push for me this year, is that know your numbers, because you can't go backwards. You have to be prepared to move forward. So that part of it, but the other piece of it really is looking at the experience, the customer experience. And I'm working with them that it starts with the lead and it doesn't end, but it includes the whole process along the way, even after closing. So we are working hard on the customer experience of delivering. So those are 2 core things so far this year that we're already working on. It's only 2 weeks into the year. We started in December.
And that's so important. What you just said, is so important. And if there's anybody listening that's not in coaching right now that hasn't done that reflection part, really kind of, maybe you haven't been tracking your numbers, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to really know what your conversion rates are. And I would imagine, and tell me what you think, Cindy, but for the coaching members that I work with, the conversion rate had gone up. And the reason why the conversion rate had gone up is because they were really focusing on refinances. That's a very different conversation. So we're going to keep tracking it. If we can keep it at 50 and 60 and 70%, 70% conversion, yay us. But it's going to be, we're going to need to maybe sharpen those skills on when we get that purchase lead.
And one of the skills that one of my clients on that conversion, one of the things that he recognized for himself was that he was showing up as an expert. He was giving good sound advice. The borrower was listening and was very engaged in what he said. There was trust built because a lot more repeat clients. But he did not, I don't want to say push, that's the wrong word. He did not give his sound advice that they should move forward and it's the best thing for them to do, tied to their why and their goals that he knew they had. He left it in their pocket. And what he learned for himself was, through talking and coaching, was that, I need to be, if I'm going to show up as an expert, then I need to give them my sound advice to say, this is something you need to do. It's going to put you where you want to be. And the risk of not doing it, there's so many risks. So being more aggressive, to the ask for the business and to help that client make a decision. And it did it. It turned and increased his conversion just even on his refis.
Yeah, exactly. And it is, once you've got the clients, you've done the high trust interview and you understand their why and, and their motivation and what's important to them, right, about this particular financing, and you deliver the solutions. Absolutely. That is the next step. It is let's get started. Our next step is going to send you a link, right?
Yes.
Your loan application, and this is how this is going to go. We're going to send you a welcome email, and we'll have this done for you. And then you create the vision. We'll have this done for you by this time, next month. or whatever that time frame is.
That's right. That's
and,
right.
And then we'll be off to the year and you'll be set for the year. You start building that vision, right?
Right, right. Absolutely. So, no, looking at that conversion is really very important.
Exactly. So Cindy, what are some of the other things? I mean, so let's dollarize a little bit. You've got this so dialed in. I just would love for you to share it with everyone. So let's dollarize the value of being consumer centric, the value of, of building a world-class experience for your clients. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, dollarization is something that absolutely helps the brain look at to say, oh, that is important, because we're always striving to achieve our income goals, to achieve our production goals. And so I think, again, the dollarizing the value of a client and, just looking at that, and gosh, people's pipelines, or not their pipeline, their databases. I mean, even in 2020, if you own, let's just say you closed 100 people, or you've got 100 people in your database, just for easy doing, let's say you stay and you cultivate that relationship from the lead through the pre-qual. It's a circle from the lead to the pre-qual. I'll go this way, from the lead to the pre-qual to the real deal stage to post-closing. That's the circle of influence that Todd talks about. And so why would we want to cultivate that? And it's called Client for Life. Yeah. It's what Todd has taught since I learned it in 1997. It's Client for Life. Yeah. And so really looking at dollarizing, let's just say you have 100 people in your database. 50 of them, just 50 of them, respond to you and send you 2 leads. That's 100 leads. Compensation's very good today in the mortgage industry, and 100 leads, then let's say they send you and they convert into 25 app. I'm making this real skinny.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Really, really skinny.
They can do their own math, right?
That's right. So those 100 leads, I know it's not a good conversion, but let's just say 25 turn into applications. Let's say it's $2,500 commission on those 25 deals. That's an additional $62,500 towards your goal.
Right.
I work with my coaching clients to look at their clients as much of an asset to their business as any referral partner there is. You have to have it both. 50-50, right? Seriously, 50 referral partners, 50 your database, and you would win. But the busier we get, the less we pull back on our existing clients and cultivating that. And we're out there trying to drum up new business.
Reinventing.
Yes. Yeah. And I think the key here too is one thing that I share with them is that because we've been in such refi times, and honestly, this last year, we had to many times just step back because they were coming to find us so fast. And that's what you get when there's 3% money out there, right? I mean, everybody was coming forward. But I think really looking at this and knowing that the cultivation, of that database, it really goes into the law of incubation. Right. And so that's the dollarization.
I just want to add that, and thank you so much for dollarizing that, because the thing is that it's something that I think that at some level we know until we start teaching it and start dollarizing it. And, one of the things that I know for sure is that anybody that is not incorporated a customer experience incubation system process is leaving money on the table.
Yes. No.
So is that. You're leaving money on the table. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you go out and reinvent your business every single week by getting new clients when you're not cultivating the relationships that you have right, right in front of you. I
Absolutely.
know that a lot of our master level people, because of capacity and bandwidth, they're hiring, we're hiring people specifically for this purpose,
Yes.
to mine their database, to manage their database, to nurture those relationships, to look for opportunities, and to be making those outbound calls and setting up those consultations.
Yes.
There's a lot of great systems out there that can do the same, but it's just so important. I know that we have a lot of new coaching members that are from Canada, and they haven't been through the academy. They have not, some of them have read High Trust Selling by now. If they're in coaching, they've read it. But this is a fairly new concept for them. But what's wonderful is that they get it.
Yes.
They understand it. They're going, oh my God, I'm in this. I'm gonna do this. This is I tell them, if we do nothing else this year but focus and create that opportunity and focus and create that system that you're talking about, Cindy.
Yes.
You can triple your business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a coach, Todd has created for us and for those within our program,
Mhm.
a wonderful, creating the perfect borrower experience.
Yes.
He truly has laid it out. And one thing that I've done is taken that, and create a visual on a spreadsheet, the exact same thing on a spreadsheet.
Mhm.
And it is an eye opener because to me, there's 4 buckets of your database, of your business, of your clientele. There's the lead,
Mhm.
there's the pre-qual, there's going to the pre-qual stage,
Mhm.
or whatever you call it, right? It's called
Mhm.
different things, right?
Sure.
Um, it goes to a real deal, and then it goes to post-closing. And we truly, every one of my clients, I am having them take a look at this to say, what's your process?
Mhm.
Most of them can say,
Yeah.
this is what I do here, this is what I do. I send a link here, I send a link there. Great. But what they've noticed is that by laying that on top of their business, for example, a gentleman that I coached laid it on top of his construction business. And he said, I want to look, what am I doing with my leads that are coming in that are in regards to construction lending? How
Okay.
am I adding value to them? What's my
Mhm.
communication? And
Mhm.
then when they go to the pre-qual for that, he's looking at that, and then real deal. And what he recognized was that he saw a gap. He saw a gap because what I have him do is, what questions are you getting?
Mhm.
Where's their confusion with your clients? Because
Mhm.
that's feedback.
Mhm.
So let's
Mhm.
pay attention to that. So
Mhm.
what he saw was that he needed to position himself at the very point of the lead, position himself of a client for life. And when
Ah,
he positioned himself
love
as a
it.
client for life, that is where you do the high trust interview. And then
Mhm.
you position that, what? This is my program.
Mhm.
This is a client for life. This is this is our process, what we're going to do for you all the way through. And we
Mhm.
don't stop after you close the loan.
Mhm.
We're going
Mhm.
to stay in contact with you
Mhm. Mhm.
because we want to help you achieve your goals.
Mhm.
And we want to be able to serve anybody that you may know that wants the same service. So
Mhm.
he wonderfully mapped that out. He also, is it similar to what he does with his business that he gets, from his agents? It's
Mhm.
similar, but
Mhm.
there was caveats he caught that
Mhm.
he needed to explain better in this section, or repeat, repeat, repeat.
Mhm. Yeah. So for those of you that are listening or maybe listening to this later, take note on what Cindy is talking about and how this particular member had laid it, he kind of overlaid it on, this policy and this approach to his business, identified where the gaps were, and has taken an action
Mhm.
to close that gap. And let's not forget about what Cindy talked about earlier, which is we got a 90-day window. So this is not, I'll do that sometime,
Right.
or I'll think about that. It is, let's figure it out now. Let's implement it now. And let's not let January go by without having a system in place.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. No, definitely. And it also has been used to look at, because so many people want to hire assistants. They need support in a lot of different areas. So what I've used it for is for them to look at, okay, what's your process? What's your follow-up? Where are your touch points? What don't you want to do?
Oh, love it.
Right? What do you want to take off your plate? And what do you want to then, pass on to your next delegate is what we work on, is delegate that to your team.
Sure.
So we use it in that way. So again, just really, that's just the process we do in coaching to help you go and create your processes and systems. It's not just about going out and bringing new business in the door. If you can't do what you say you're going to do, you will not have people come back and do business with you. And and the wealth, the gold mine that every, and you don't have to be a loan officer. If you're listening to this and you're in any business, this is just a wonderful way to manage and fuel and develop those high trust relationships with people that you've done business with. They love you and they will refer back to you. And I'm going to bring up the circle of cash flow again, because this is an icon. This is what Todd absolutely stands for. And it's not just your database. You could lay this on top of your agents. You could lay it on top of your financial planners. And one thing I ran across is this. I'm just going to read it. And it's everything that we're saying here. It says, every sale you close for the rest of your life can provide the foundation for closing hundreds of more sales.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Each customer is your greatest asset. When you have successfully established high trust with the customer, you should use that relationship to build more relationships. And that's what we're about.
What really resonated for me right now, what you just read, Cindy, is greatest asset.
Yeah.
If we shifted our perception and our mindset around our clients are our greatest assets, not our referral partners, right? Our clients are our greatest asset. One of the things that I think that, anybody who's been in coaching for a period of time, they learned how to cultivate that relationship. They learned how to nurture that relationship. They followed the law of incubation, right? They allowed that relationship to nurture over time and to grow over time. And so when the refi boom hit in 2020, that their return on that investment of time paid them back.
Yes.
Tenfold.
And well, look at the volume numbers.
Yeah.
Exactly. And again, it's not that when you opened up and you shared the mortgage bankers the forecast for this next year that first and second quarter are going to be pretty good. Third might wane into there. There really could be a drop off.
Yes, ma'am.
Those that are brand new into the industry, you really have not seen that. And brand new could be in the last 5 years. Seriously.
Yes.
You really have not seen that. And we're telling you, when it comes, this is where you don't wait till then.
Yes.
To do this.
Kind of a rookie move.
Yeah. Start today. And I think a lot of people say, yeah, but I've already talked to all my people. I've already refied everybody. Well, this isn't just about refis.
Yeah.
This is truly about, great. I mean, I love this. I saw this online somewhere. Someone said, go to your database and ask them, gosh, we've all been stuck in our houses. Have you outgrown your home? Is it something you might be looking for in the near future that you guys now realize this house is too small? Right? And that could generate a lead for your referral partner.
Sure.
And other questions also to support those partnerships you have. This is that circle of cash flow. Golly, we're going into some, in new year. One of the things I have always done with my clients is I'm a one-stop shop. And you know what? I've got resources for financial planning. I've got resources to make sure that you're your CPA and you're making the right decisions. So
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
even asking questions like that and being comfortable,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Confident to
Mhm.
ask those questions.
Right.
You're not selling.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
are giving service to the people that know and love you.
Who consider you a resource, right?
Yeah.
If you're saying, consider me a
Yes.
resource,
Yes.
then be that. I was
Yes.
talking to one of our coaching members yesterday, and we were having this same conversations, and we had thought, I suggested that she ask when she's doing her database calls and calling her past clients, is to ask the question, hey, who sold you your house? And they'll say, oh, Mary Smith. And, so what was your experience with Mary Smith? And she was a great realtor. I think she's amazing. She just like moved mountains for us. She was amazing. And would you mind if I gave her a call? And I said, call that agent first, vet them out first to make sure that they're, 100% in the business, that they are the right partner for you. And then call them and say,
Yes.
we have a mutual client. I just, heard, great things about you when the Jones purchased their home. Love to have, an opportunity to get together with you either by Zoom or face to face or whatever the opportunity is. Hear more about your business. I couldn't hear enough great things. What a
Yeah.
great way to do that.
Yeah. It's another great example of how to position yourself with
Mm-hmm,
those that know and love you. And
mm-hmm,
I really want to stress that we during 2020 and the abundance of business, and I want to reiterate what you said, Hope. We are very, very aware,
yes.
very, very aware, because we coached people through this last year. We are very aware of everything that has come up.
Mm-hmm,
So I just want to kudos to not just production, moving their offices to the house,
mm-hmm.
working out of their bedroom. I've had 3-year-olds knocking on the door crying because mom's on a coaching call, so just congratulations to that and
Yes.
all that they've achieved. But what I have found is that also not just your post-closing clients, what are you doing with all those leads?
Mm-hmm,
If
mm-hmm.
you're a newer loan officer, you should be hanging on to every person you have a conversation with
Right.
and engaging them. If you're a loan officer that's been in it 20 years, maybe you're just working your database and you're not holding on to additional leads. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Point being is what's the experience that your leads are getting? We believe in starting the high trust conversation at the point of the lead,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And then the second is the prequel. I mean, I cringe when I hear, and I know everybody's been busy, but you spend 35 to 40 minutes, if not an hour, over time with a prequel. Staying in contact with them and having an organized, consistent
System. Yes.
system
Yes.
to touch them. Video, you guys, email, sending them something in the mail, whatever it is, checking in with them. I'm finding those two buckets are also being underutilized for opportunities of growth for
Mm-hmm.
referrals.
Mm-hmm.
We do a good job when we're in that 30 to 45 days of a real deal, ramming and jamming, got it good there. It's
Mm-hmm.
those other three buckets that
Right.
there's huge opportunity.
Exactly. We don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No, no.
We don't at High Trust. We don't reinvent the wheel at High Trust. We have systems and operations in place that work for us when we're not working it.
Yeah.
Right. We have systems and we have a system and an operation, in place. That system is working for us and we don't necessarily have to be paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Or having a system for follow-up and callbacks and that type of thing. Because you're absolutely right, Cindy. I think that that's something that, again, leaving money on the table.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, and knowing what is your communication. And if you have a team, making sure that that communication is your brand,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right? Is it coming, is it you that's and
right.
your team culture coming from that? And I just want to invite anyone on the call who looks at this next year and certainly had an abundant year, call us. do
Yeah.
a free coaching consultation.
Yes.
Get
Yes.
on the phone and see, what is this for you? And take some of that wonderful abundance of business and income that we had in 2020 and
Mhm.
invest in you to
Mhm.
build that platform underneath you, so
Right.
that that business coming in is constantly churning and you are taking care of those clients.
Yeah, thank you for saying that and bringing that to our attention. Is that we do have, I mean, I'm right there with you. I would invite anybody that is not in coaching, that is thinking about coaching, to call, and get a free coaching consultation with one of our coach consultants. They're amazing. They're wonderful. They're
Mhm.
they're there. They're listening. They're paying attention. They know everything about our program. Can answer all your questions. And I just highly encourage you to pick up the phone, make that call, schedule an appointment. Just go to the website and schedule an appointment that's convenient for you, and
Right.
show up at that call, right? So
Yeah.
Cindy, the last thing I want to just kind of just touch on, and this has been so much fun, and I know we have like mountains of things that you and I could talk for a couple of hours. I know, um, but I did want to ask you. I mean, you've been a coach with us now for 2 years, yes?
Yeah, almost, yeah, going on 2 years. Yep.
So and I'm obviously looking for, always on the hunt for, for the right coach to be in our world. So talk to me a little bit about what it's like for you to have been a high trust coach, and what it's given back to you, Sin,
Yeah.
and talk to us a little bit about that.
You know, um I think for me, the thing that personally that it has given back to me is it has truly given me the platform to deliver on a legacy that I started even before I knew I was doing it, creating a legacy. And that truly is of taking my experience in the industry, my knowledge, just my coaching experience, and helping people go beyond themselves,
Yes.
getting out of their own way,
Yeah.
and absolutely achieving what they know and believe in their heart that they're capable of. And
Mm-hmm.
so, high trust, I share this on the other videos, is I grew up with it. It's part of my business. It's been my business model for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
It works, and it's who I am. And so just really being a part of this for the clients out there is one thing. It warms my heart is a second thing. But I think third is it helps me be in a community, and I'm surrounded by other people of like kind, and that's our coaches.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot of coaches. They're all very well qualified, passionate people that are wanting to also leave a legacy of their
Yes.
knowledge in the industry to help that next person with the next step up. So that's really what it's done for me.
Yeah. Thank you, Cindy. It is important, I mean, the to be a high trust coach is a very unique, individual. They have to be, engaged and know the mortgage industry. They have to be masters of the high trust methodology. They have to be, actually, and engaged in being able to deliver that and coach to it. And most importantly, they have to have the heart of a coach. No personal agendas.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
all about making a difference and making an impact on other people's lives. And our coach faculty and our coaches are just beyond, they exemplify those
Yes.
qualities. And so I am on, so if this is something that you think that you would like to at least look into, send me an email. I'd love to hear from you to see if you can qualify to be a high trust coach. Send me an email at hope.borman@hightrustcoaching.com. I'd love to hear from you. And we can go through that process and have that conversation and give you an idea of what that actually looks like. We just would love to hear from you. I am starting a new coach certification Q1. And we have some coaches that that have already applied and that I'm going to be bringing in. But I am looking for for a few more. Obviously, high trust coaching is growing in leaps and bounds, and we'd love that. We'd love that we have a bigger opportunity to impact more lives, right, Sin?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So
Absolutely.
I would love to hear from you. And Cindy, I just want to thank you once again for all the value that you bring, the
Mm.
immense value that you bring to our coaching members, to our community. And thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it. You know that.
Yeah.
Have a great day, Hope.
Thank you. You too.